Welcome and thank you for joining Farm Bill 2019 Q&A follow-up for National Animal Disease Preparedness and Response Program. Before we begin, please ensure you've opened the WebEx participant and chat panels by using the associated icons located at the bottom of your screen. Please note that all audio connections are muted at this time. Should you require technical assistance, please send a chat to the event producer. With that, I'm going to turn things over to Julie Wallen. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Tegan. So I'm Julie Wallen, and I am VS's coordinator for Farm Bill Section 12101 programs. I have with me today Dr. Lee Myers, who is our lead for the NADPRP 2019 funding opportunity, and also Valerie Martin, who is our VS grant specialist for this program. So today we want to provide a very brief overview of the program and the current funding opportunity for training and exercise activities. Our goal today really is to just answer your questions, but we want to start out by spending a few minutes just recapping some of the program basics. I'm going to kick us off with an overview of the Farm Bill program, and then Lee will go into a few details about the 2019 funding opportunity, and then Valerie is going to summarize the steps for how to apply for funds. After this intro information, we'll have plenty of time to discuss your questions. So the 2018 Farm Bill included a new three-tier program aimed at animal disease prevention and management. The three programs in this section include the new National Animal Disease Preparedness and Response Program, or NADPRP, the new Vaccine and Veterinary Countermeasures Bank, and continued support for the National Animal Health Laboratory Network. All three of these programs will be coordinated by VS. They'll all focus on top national priorities, and they'll all use competitive funding processes. To launch the three programs, APHIS recently announced its plan to make available up to $10 million in funding in the NADPRP and NALM programs in calendar year 2019. So today we'll only be talking about the NADPRP program. If you'd like more information about the NALM funding opportunity, please go to the APHIS NALM website. So before we go into the details about the funding opportunity, I want to recap quickly a few basic information about this new National Animal Disease Preparedness and Response Program. So this program allows VS to enter into agreements with cooperators to carry out high-value projects to support the program goals. And those four program goals that form the framework of this program are biosecurity and prevention, detection and surveillance, preparedness and response, and outreach and education. The program will support projects that focus on emerging and foreign animal diseases that have potential for high economic consequences for U.S. livestock and related industries. And VS is also modeling this program after a similar program that APHIS Plant Protection and Quarantine has operated for over 10 years. And their program also uses similar Farm Bill funds. So as I said, the NADPRP program is starting now with an initial funding opportunity to support training and exercise activities. I'm going to hand this over to Dr. Myers, who's going to cover the details about that specific funding opportunity.
Thank you, Julie. First, I want to review the eligible entities who can apply for this funding. The Farm Bill is very specific about the eligible entities that can receive the funding. NADPRP allows VS to enter into agreements with state governments, universities, livestock producer organizations, veterinary organizations, and others. Many of these players are really new partners for VS to enter into cooperative agreements. And you will find the complete list and details in the funding opportunity announcement. Now let's quickly review the three funding priorities for this initial NADPRP 2019 phase. Priority one is to support training, specifically to develop or deliver emergency management training for animal agriculture sector responders, including operational field training as you see here in these photos. Priority two is for exercises, to develop, conduct, and evaluate emergency management exercises for animal agriculture responders. And you see here two photos of drills, which are operations-based exercises for field personnel. Both training and the exercise events may support the well-established VS National Training and Exercise Program, which hopefully all of you are aware of, known as the NTEP, or other applicable training and exercise programs in your states or organizations. Activities may also address lessons learned from recent animal health incidents you may have faced or outbreaks or past exercises. And activities may also be a part of an improvement plan related to the after-action reports and corrective actions. The critical activities listed here are suggested for the NADPRP projects to help guide your proposals. You'll notice that these 16 activities are actually a subset of the full list of critical activities that you'll find in the VS Foreign Animal Disease Preparedness and Response, or FADPREP, documents. These are also listed in the funding opportunity announcement. Priority 3 supports domestic travel and per diem for responders to participate in training and exercise events. This could include activities hosted by other organizations, both inside or outside of the government, such as the VS NTEP program or the VS Professional Development Staff Training Opportunities, or others that you may know about in your area. Something new is the concept of group proposals, and this will encourage multiple contributors with individual agreements to work together. So how this works is a group proposal will mean multiple applicants collaborating together on one proposal for one project, with VS entering into separate agreements with multiple contributors. And this will be helpful because we know that many contributors have a difficult time of sharing funds between each other. We ask that one contributor serve as the project lead and submit the proposal and the application forms on behalf of the entire group. Any contributor that needs a separate VS agreement must supply their grant application forms to the project lead, who in turn submits them with the entire application package. Other contributors that may not need a separate VS agreement will not need to submit these application forms and can receive their project support directly through the project lead. So we hope that this approach will really encourage organizations and contributors to work together on common projects. Each proposal will be reviewed and ranked against these pre-established evaluation criteria, and you'll find more information about each in the funding opportunity announcement. Following the application deadline of October 25th, VS will review all the applications. Subject matter experts from both inside and outside of veterinary services will be a part of the ad hoc review panel containing emergency management and training and exercise experts. It's important for you to note that USDA does maintain full discretion on the award selection and may choose to fund all or part of a proposal. You are encouraged to align your project proposals closely with the priorities I just mentioned, the evaluation criteria, and other requirements that are explained in a lot of detail in the funding opportunity announcement that's posted on the website. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Valerie Martin, who will tell us how to apply for these funds.
Thank you, Dr. Myers. This funding opportunity is a competitive process, so it is important that your application be well developed, complete, and submitted to VS timely. As part of the competitive process, a reviewer or team of reviewers will select applications for funding using the predetermined select screening and evaluation criteria. An applicant may propose to use funds to enter into sub-agreements. An example would be when the applicant submits a group proposal where contributors receive funding via subaward through the project lead. A subaward may be provided through any form of legal agreement, including an agreement that an eligible entity considers a contract. If a portion of the work will be subawarded, the applicant must detail this in the work in the financial plan proposal. We highly encourage applicants to submit their applications online using grants.gov or through the USDA Grants and Agreement System called Easy Fed Grants. Please review the funding opportunity announcement for application details and job aid links that provide detailed instructions on how to access and apply in the grants.gov or Easy Fed Grants system. Applications may also be submitted via email as outlined in the funding opportunity announcement. Please note the deadline of October 25th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The online and email system generated date and time documentation will be used as the official receipt time. Applications that are incomplete or received after the deadline will not be considered. The opportunity number is the same for the online submission in both grants.gov and Easy Fed Grants. You can find the opportunity by using the search feature in either system. All application packages must contain the required forms, plans, and information regardless if the application is submitted online or by email. And all of these forms are listed in the funding opportunity announcement. An exception to this requirement is the federal agency applicants. They only need to submit via email the work plan and financial plan. We encourage applicants to use the work plan template provided in the funding opportunity announcement. It is a fillable Word document and contains detailed guidance for information required in the plan. The plan will outline the program objectives and provide details of the proposed activities and the roles and responsibilities for each party to the agreement. A detailed financial plan must be submitted with the application and must match the Standard Form 424A budget categories. This is the financial expression of the resources required to carry out the project. The amounts must be reasonable and directly relate to and align with the activities outlined in the work plan. In developing the financial plan, there are cost principles that must be used to determine whether a cost can be charged to a project, and if so, the extent to which it can be charged. More information on cost principles and funding restrictions can be found in the funding opportunity announcement. We've received several questions about the funding restrictions in the funding opportunity announcement for personnel costs, so we wanted to provide some clarifying guidance. As I just mentioned, the work plan and the financial plan must clearly describe the activities and how funds will be used to support the proposed activities. APHIS allows funds to support personnel that are directly related to project activities. It's not VS's intent to prescribe an applicant's approach to satisfying personnel resources needs to complete activities in approved work plan. Because there is no guarantee of funding beyond the performance period, VS recommends applicants use caution when hiring or funding personnel with NADPRP funds in consideration of these limitations. For example, it may be appropriate to fund personnel whose salary is generated from extramural fund agreements, or to fund a portion of an employee's salary that is only funded to work 9 out of 12 months of the year. However, it would not be appropriate to hire a new permanent position with an intent to support that position with NADPRP funds beyond the agreement performance period. We've provided contact names, phone numbers, and email addresses for application, administrative, or system issues. These can be found in the funding opportunity announcement, and there's also more details on the NADPRP website. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us for assistance if needed. At this time, I'd like to turn it back over to Julie.
Thanks, Valerie. So before we move on to the questions, and we're looking forward to those, I do want to mention that we have a website for the NADPRP program, and it includes a lot of great information. We recently posted there some new examples of activities that VS could fund in this funding opportunity, so that might give you all some ideas. And we hope to post a new FAQ question and answer document for you up there soon as well. We have email boxes where you can email your questions at any time, and as Valerie said, feel free to reach out to us by phone. So we look forward to getting your questions today, though, and I think Tegan's going to give us a little instruction on that, and then let us hear what you have to say and what you're wondering about.
All right. As we move into Q&A, please place yourselves in the question queue by dialing #2 on your telephone keypad. You'll hear a notification when your line is unmuted, at which point please state your name and question. At this moment, we do encourage you to submit your questions verbally because we believe dialogue is super important today. Again, that's #2 on your telephone keypad to enter the question queue. You can, of course, submit your questions in writing by using the chat panel on the right-hand side of your screen. Just remember to select all panelists from the drop-down menu before submitting your question. All right, at this time, I'm not showing any questions. If you would like to ask your question verbally, please dial #2 on your telephone keypad or submit it in writing using the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen. Just remember to select all panelists before submitting your question. We did get a written question in. Will this PowerPoint be posted someplace?
Yeah, in fact, our PowerPoint today, for the most part, is a subset of our original webinar, and it's already posted. And this webinar recording will also be posted within 5 business days, hopefully quite soon. The information that Valerie covered regarding the clarification on the use of funds for personnel resources, that's going to be included in the frequently asked questions document that we're putting through clearance right now. So we expect that to be posted soon. So most of the materials is already on the NADPRP website. The small bit of information we covered on that clarification on personnel resources will be provided up there soon in the webinar and in the FAQ.
All right, looks like we do have a verbal question. Caller, your line is unmuted. Caller, your line is open.
Yes, I have a question about the work plan and updating the template that was provided, or at least referenced in the RFA. So it says that we can modify that work plan as needed depending on our project. What I'm wondering is, and maybe it said it somewhere and I didn't catch it, is there a page limit to the work plan?
This is Valerie, and I can field that question. There is not a page limit to the work plan, and it is a template that we tried to provide to help guide you through drafting your work plan, but you can modify it if that suits your submission on how you need to submit your proposed activities.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I mean, I would think that I might provide some background information about the program as well as how it fits into the priorities listed, but maybe that's not the right place for it.
Yeah, you certainly can provide background and history as usually that's done at the very beginning of a work plan. So if you want to provide that and lead into how that fits into your proposal by providing that, we would certainly accept that, and that would be helpful.
Great, thank you.
This is Lee. Valerie, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have also in the work plan template a section that talks about testimonials or other things that you may want to attach that support, and that can be done as attachments. Is that right, Valerie?
Yes, they can. Certainly can.
so you can also attach things. But, you know, keep in mind that I would encourage you to be succinct and to the point, because if you get a lot of voluminous material that is difficult to wade through, you know, that may weigh heavy on the reviewers that would have a difficult time actually pulling out the pertinent points for evaluation.
Understood.
Good question. Thank you.
Okay, the next question we got was in writing. Has the focus for future grant cycles been determined yet? This may affect how we submit our 2019 plan.
So yeah, this is Julie. I can answer that one. So the focus for future grant cycles is going to be determined based on our consultation with stakeholders and eligible entities regarding the FY20 funding plan or funding priorities. So the short answer is no, we haven't set the funding priorities for FY20 yet because we haven't completed that consultation. I would say that the 2019 funding opportunity, with its strong focus on training and exercise activities, this is, you know, it's a unique opportunity to submit an application for that. And if you have an interest in this area, I would certainly submit it in the 2019 funding opportunity window and not wait on it, because when we have the funding opportunity in FY20, it's likely to include many different priorities and not limited to training and exercises.
Okay. The next question we have is, will we be able to submit multiple proposals under the one funding opportunity number in Easy Fed grants?
Valerie, I believe that probably is a question to you.
Yes, that is correct. You can submit multiple applications under that same opportunity number.
And this is Lee. I may also point out that you can also submit maybe individual proposals from your organization and then also be a contributor to a group or multiple group proposals. So there really is no limit on the number that you can be involved with or submit yourself.
Okay. At this time, I'm not showing any other questions. Again, if you would like to ask your question verbally, please dial #2 on your telephone keypad. You can also submit questions in writing by using the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen. Just select all panelists before submitting your question. All right, we do have another caller in the question queue. Caller, your line is unmuted.
Hi, yes, with respect to sub-awards, sub-agreements, looking at the presentation, I believe it was pretty specific with respect to other eligible entities or state and local jurisdiction. Is there a restriction on who sub-agreements can go to, or are sub-agreements open to any entity that the eligible applicant might want to use?
Yeah, that's a great question. Valerie, that again is to you.
The subawards, if you are subawarding out to another entity, it should be to an eligible entity, but that doesn't limit you from entering into like a contract type situation, as long as you're, you know, for goods or services that, as long as you're following the contract rules within your state or within your organization. But if you are subawarding it out, then it should be to an eligible entity.
Understood. Thank you very much.
So, Valerie, this is Lee. Yes, again, just to make sure that we understand that subaward is a very specific type of arrangement. But right. the recipient, the cooperator who receives the funds, as you were saying, can use a variety of other instruments then to then coordinate or collaborate with other contributors, including contracts or memoranda of understanding or agreement or perhaps some other instruments. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So there is a lot of flexibility there. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I'm not showing any questions. Again, if you would like to ask your question verbally, please dial #2 on your telephone keypad. Or you can submit your question in writing by using the chat panel on the right-hand side of your screen. Just remember to select all panelists from the drop-down menu before submitting your question. All right, I'm not showing any questions at this time.
All right. Julie,
this is Valerie. I just wanted to clarify something on the sub-agreement as well. The actual language in the Farm Bill says that the eligible entities can use the funds received to enter into sub-agreements with other eligible entities or with a political subdivision of a state that has legal responsibilities relating to animal disease prevention, surveillance, and rapid response. So,
thanks, Valerie. That's helpful. All right. Well, thank you all for your time today. And if you have additional questions, we have the email boxes for the program available and the phone numbers, and all this information is available on the website. And also today's webinar and the recording will be available on the NADPRP website within a few days.
thank you very much. We look forward to your proposals.
That concludes our conference. Thank you for using AT&T Event Conferencing Enhanced. You may now disconnect.